Okay, so my next video is a doozy. This started out as just an interesting little segment. They had a conservative, Trump supporter, and instead of having the "Make America Great Again," she's a dating expert, and she's turned the slogan into "Make America Date Again." And I thought that's quite clever. This woman sounds interesting. I'll have a listen to what she says, but it turned. Now you got to watch the whole thing because it starts off really sort of polite and everything, and then it just turns into some very sort of devious, underhanded, catty little remarks to each other. So just watch it. Don't skip to the end. Watch it from the beginning and just watch it build up, layer by layer, and you'll get what I mean when you watch it. So let's have a look, and I'll do my comments as we go along.
Well, in a time when politics is polarising and dating is divisive, one US woman is on a matchmaking mission to make America date again. Christy Edwards Lawton is the brains behind Writer, an app designed to help President Trump fans find one another.
So once again, that's quite good, wasn't it? Because even though I don't believe President Trump is exactly right wing, because he doesn't actually believe in globalism or anything like that. So he's more of a patriot, I'd say, more than right wing, because there's a lot of people in his political party that hate him because they're all globalists and he's a nationalist. So, but I like the swipe right. There you go. So let's get into it.
Slogan: when you're tired of getting swiped left on for your political beliefs, use Writer.
While already courting some controversy, Christy isn't afraid to make it clear her app is for conservatives by conservatives.
If you're a feminist, get off my app.
Oh.
Femininity is what the gentlemen are looking for on my app, and you're going to have a much more success on my app. Femininity is so powerful and amazing and awesome. Your breasts.
So, along the way, she's learned a thing or two about what makes a relationship last more than just one term, and the biggest mistakes men and women make when it comes to love. And Christy Edwards Lawton joins us now from our LA studio. Good morning to you, Christy.
Good morning.
Okay, so you can see right here, she's got the Australian TV host has got the fake smile. Hi. She wants to rip into her. She wants to rip into her, and she does. And so, without further ado, let the battle begin. This is great.
Thank you for having me.
Great to see you. You're the creator of Writer, as we just pointed out, a dating app for conservatives and Trump supporters. Where did the idea come from in the first place?
The genesis of it was probably during the election of 2016 with President Trump, and I had a demand coming from some veterans and some men, masculine men, that felt that they were being suppressed a bit, and a model that I met in Manhattan that was not able to get a date. When I met her, I was stunned by this information, and I decided to launch an app for conservatives and men and women who were seeking traditional values and monogamous dating and were a little sick and tired of hookups and having the excitement and looking forward to going out on a date and finding nothing more than people that just wanted to be discarded at the end.
Okay, because this it's a polarised America. Trump fans finding it tough on the dating scene. But we've always been told that opposites attract. Isn't that sometimes what makes a relationship exciting?
Absolute rubbish. But she's got a good response to this. But opposite, they might intrigue. And you might like bumping heads for a while. But eventually it turns into resentment, and she's also got another little byproduct that happens as well when you get two opposites together.
Sometimes opposites attract, and then they attack, and so.
Boom! Yes, they attack. Turns into resentment and then attack. That's usually what happens. I've been on the end of this myself, but anyway. Let's get into it.
Oh, I think the premise of having a date where you both know that there's some really exciting topics that you're on the same page, that you can discuss right away, such as traditional family values, and traditional values, certainly in politics, is kind of an exciting topic, especially nowadays. There's quite a few topics to discuss. I feel that the men and women, the feedback I'm getting right now is that it's a really stimulating dinner conversation that they're having all the way through.
Okay. Chrissy, you've said that feminists don't have a place on your app. You need to talk us through this. What do you mean by that?
Oh, there's that face again. There's that face. She is fuming. This is a fake smile. She wants to have a go at her. And I was watching her. I knew I didn't know what was going to happen. I was just watching her face and thinking, she hates this woman.
Well, feminists today, I would say probably the third wave of feminists, they are not seeking to celebrate the masculinity of men. In fact, they're not really seeking to celebrate men, period. And our app, we are very much embracing men in uniform. We are embracing men, period, and we are definitely embracing their masculinity. And we really support that and celebrate them. And the women on our app are feminine. They are really excited. They love the fact that men are making the first move. They love the fact that men are picking up the tab at the end of the date. And things.
Okay, I'll stop it there. Picking up the tab. I feel on the fence in this one because I think there's a lot of women that will take advantage of this and will just treat it like a free meal, just not interested in the men at all. They could be feminists and just take them for a ride. So I do believe in splitting the tab. It depends. Like if it's just a coffee date and that, I usually pay. But if it's a big dinner, and also I tend to go on coffee dates first because if you don't like the person, you're going to be stuck having dinner with them for like a couple of hours. So you can always go from coffee to dinner, but it's very hard to go back from dinner, and then you're stuck with the tab, and you do that too many times, and you end up homeless and on the street.
They're going really beautifully. So that.
Don't you think that men can be masculine and still support feminists?
Yeah. So listen what she said there. Don't you think men can be masculine and still support feminists, right? And look what she does next.
I'm not quite understanding the question. Do I think that men can be masculine and support feminists?
Men can still be masculine, but still support women.
There we go. She changed it from supporting feminists to supporting women. And she just sort of realised her mistake there, that a masculine man is not going to support a feminist. It's they're two opposing things there. If the girl's a man hater, she's not going to like a masculine man, is she? So that subset of feminists. Of course, there's a whole spectrum of feminists, but it's concentrating here on the sort of man hating ones. Probably wouldn't even be on a dating app in the first place, I guess.
Absolutely. We have, in fact, every single man on my app love women and support women. Absolutely. I agree with you.
Okay. What types of singles are signing up for your service?
What types of singles? All men and all women that are celebrating traditional values and that want to be monogamous and want to seek marriage at the end. And we're having a tremendous amount of success. In fact, we're up 600%. And we're having a lot of fun with it. It's been fantastic. In fact, we're having to expand because we're finding a lot of elite people. I would say the top 1% of our country, they don't necessarily want to be on an app, and so they're meeting with me privately, and I'm offering private services.
Okay. All right, so you're listening to all your clients. You're hearing a lot about the scene. In this day and age, what are the biggest mistakes that men and women are making when it comes to dating, do you think?
I think it can be challenging for women, especially maybe a type A personality, for females to want to do a little bit too much for the men. Men really have a fire in the belly. They like to be proactive. They like to set the date. They like to make the first move. And I think nowadays men struggle a bit with females that are wanting to maybe do a bit too much. So the advice that I keep giving the ladies is, hey, back off. Go ahead and let the guy make the first move. Really enjoy the dating process. And right now, with where we are, and today it's been a little bit difficult to let the traditional roles go ahead and be traditional again.
This is interesting. She starts attacking traditional roles, but I agree with what she says. Men are fairly task orientated, and they feel valued if they're doing something. So like arranging a date. So I have to agree with her on that.
And so I've really encouraged the men, hey, go ahead and let her know what the plans are, enjoy the date, and I've let the females know, hey, go. Your job is to only show up, look beautiful, look amazing, be polite, and make sure you show your gratitude.
Well, traditional roles, I thought in 2019 there wasn't such a thing as traditional roles, that we can celebrate who we want to be, and whether that's in the boardroom or being at home raising kids. There's no such thing as traditional roles anymore, and I think that's the nice thing about living and being in 2019, no?
Oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. The statistics would vastly disagree with you, and actually all of the men and women that I meet with would very much disagree with you.
All the men and women on your app.
Oh, here we go.
I'm sorry that you feel that way.
Okay. Hey, there have been reports
and by the way, you're speaking to a woman who has actually held corporate titles, corporate roles, and I'm married to a chairman, and I work with the elite 1% and the top 10%. So this isn't just on my app, and a lot of the people I work with are not just on my app. So I'm not quite sure what you've been
It
told
seemed
my
to me,
background
when
is.
you're talking about traditional roles, you define traditional roles then for me, because maybe I'm confused by your perception of what a traditional role is. If you could explain what you mean about a traditional role?
A traditional role in a date would be for letting the gentleman set the date, plan the date, reach out to the female first, go ahead and pick up the tab at the end of the date, maybe not jumping into bed on a date. Date in courtship should be letting people get to know each other instead of sharing intimacy with a total stranger that you met 3 hours previous. That would be traditional roles. The same thing with a female. Females need to maybe not be so proactive and not engage in intimacy with complete strangers that they don't know very well. I've literally had women on Tinder not even be able to tell me the last name of their dates. And they come to me wanting something different. These aren't just women that think they have conservative politics. I have liberals coming to me all the time wanting to talk to me about how can they get married? How can they have a long-term relationship? Why are they still not married or having children? And they can't even get a guy that wants to commit to them. And I'm like, well, you need to change your behaviors.
Okay. Well, Christy, we knew it was going to be a fascinating chat at the top, and we really appreciate your time. Lots of our audience very interested to hear what you have to say this morning. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Christy.
Thanks, Christy.
You bet.
You bet. Oh my God, it's so funny. But it's a serious topic, but I just love that. I just had to share it with you guys because the passive aggressive going back and forth there was just incredible. Well, it was more passive aggressive on Larry. So it's Larry Emder and I can't remember her name now. I'm terrible with names, aren't I? Well, Larry Emder's a guy. Larry and anyway, it'll come to me afterwards. But yeah, she was very passive aggressive towards this woman, and that's just classic. That's just classic. And I think dating, it's because back when I started dating, there wasn't this sort of almost like power struggle that we have now, and I wouldn't say that it was traditional roles, but you sort of almost knew the ground rules and everything, but everyone's such an individual now. Guys just don't know where the hell they stand, I guess. So, okay, enough of my dating life. I hope you enjoyed that video, and like, subscribe, share, and definitely share around this one. This one I want to go viral. This video I want to really go viral because I reckon it's fantastic. I absolutely loved it. So I hope you liked it too, and I'll see you next time.